Hey guys, Michelle here, Michelle Beckner Family Wellness. Look what I just, I'm like, what am I sitting on? Um, Welcome to the Happy Mama, Healthy Baby live show, episode 26. I am happy to have you guys here. So if you haven't joined me before, welcome. I'm Michelle Beckner. I help moms take care of themselves so that they can feed their babies right. I work a lot with, I work with breastfeeding moms who are on an elimination diet because of their baby's food allergies or food sensitivities. And I also do a lot with starting solids. And the way this show works is Tuesdays after bedtime. I'm a little bit early today. I'm usually on a little bit closer to 8 o'clock, but Bradley was really tired, so I put him down early, and Brian's putting Genevieve down right now. So I'm a little early. But anyway, Tuesday nights I talk about being a calm mom and just taking care of yourself. And then Fridays, I talk more about baby nutrition. If you noticed, I wasn't here last Friday. I decided to, we're getting a bunch of construction, or we were getting construction done in our house. We took down a big wall. So Friday, it finished last week. So Friday, I spent the whole day cleaning the house and moving furniture around and then icing my back for the rest of the day. So I decided to skip my live show. And then this Friday, we're going to the beach with friends, but I'm going to try to do my show a little bit earlier than usual. So usually Friday afternoon around 12 or 1, I'm on talking about healthy baby things. I'm going to try to be here around 10 a.m. on Friday, but don't cry or get mad at me if I don't make it. So today I'm talking about accepting your life and your body after having babies. Before I get into it, I guess Genevieve needs me when I'm done. Before I get into it, I just wanted to talk real quick. So I'm traveling next month for work for a couple nights. Well, for work and then visiting some friends. So I'll be gone for 4 nights total. So yesterday I spent like probably way too long, but just figuring out what I want to do since I'm still nursing Bradley. So about like pumping while traveling and how to get milk back to Bradley because I do not have enough of a freezer stash, especially since I was dairy free and then I wasn't, and now I'm dairy free again. So a lot of my stash has dairy in it, so I don't want to give it to him. So anyway, long story short, I did a lot of work trying to figure out how to pump and travel and get milk to your baby when you're still nursing. So if anybody's interested in that, then I'd be happy to do a show about what I've learned either before I go, or maybe it'd be good to do one before and then one after. Hopefully I don't have any stories about me having to like dump my milk out in security at the airport or anything. But it also just brings up another, like when I talk about it with people, a lot of them are like, well, why can't you just switch to formula, or why don't you just wean him? And it's like, well, I don't want to. I mean, I have thought about it a lot because he'll be 15 months. Genevieve was weaned at about 13 months. So I have thought about it, but I don't feel like I'm ready, and I don't feel like that's a good enough excuse to wean. I do kind of want to be able to eat dairy when I'm in New Orleans, so that kind of adds to my reason for wanting to wean before I leave, but I really don't want to rush anything. I want him to take his time. He still wakes up usually at night to nurse too, so I know he's not ready for it, so I just want to give him what's best. But anyway, so if you guys are interested in any of those topics, traveling while nursing or weaning or anything, let me know and I will be happy to talk about it. But anyway, I'll get into this this topic, accepting life and body after a baby. Some moms have a harder time with one versus the other. I know for me personally, I don't really have like too many body issues. I'm extremely grateful for everything my body has provided for me and my children. I've been lucky to have 2 easy pregnancies and 2, I won't really say easy, but quick and mostly uncomplicated births. So every day I wake up with gratitude, and most days one of those things I'm thankful for is my body. So I guess that's one tip which I wasn't really planning on talking about. but just being thankful, whether you like how your body looks or not, or maybe you liked it before you had a baby and now you're not happy with it. Just be thankful for everything that is done for you and your babies. So yeah, I wasn't really planning on talking about that, but that's a really good little tip there. So I kind of thought about this like 3-step thing to accept kind of just like how things are now after a baby, whether it's your life or your body. It can be applied to anything. So the first one is reevaluate. And honestly, this only hit me recently, that you can't expect everything to be the same after you have a baby. You're a different person now. You have a different life. There's different people in your life. So you can't expect everything to be the same. Everything, or not everything, but things are going to change, right? So it kind of hit me for a while I was trying to fit my old life into this new life, being a mom. And that just wasn't the right way of thinking about it. So just reevaluate your life now, knowing that it's not the same, right? So then after that, you need to readjust. So a couple examples I was kind of thinking about before I hopped on with you guys, for me was, one thing, okay, I'm saying I don't really have any body issues, but here's an example with body. But that goes 2 ways. So after I had Genevieve, I was 3 or 4 months postpartum, and I still had 5 or so pounds to lose. I wasn't super happy with my tummy, so I was just go out. This is just the way I guess my body's gonna be after having a baby. So I went out and I was I'm gonna have to buy all new clothes. So I bought new pants and a couple new shirts that fit me, with covering my post baby belly. And then, so I kind of just accepted hey, this is my body, which is cool. But also I want you to know that you don't need your body. You don't need to just accept that your body, you're not going to be happy with your body now after you have a baby. It doesn't need to be that way. But anyway, I just decided this is just what it's going to be. And then a month or 2 later, I got food poisoning while I was nursing, so that took care of the last 5 pounds, unfortunately, but it worked. And then a couple weeks, maybe a week or 2 after that, I found out Genevieve had a dairy allergy. So cutting dairy, if you haven't heard my story before, is what really, really changed my life and my body and everything. And I ended up losing 10 more pounds because of that. So anyway, my point is, I accepted hey, I guess this is going to be my new body. It maybe wasn't necessarily the right thing. So after I cut dairy and I lost all that weight, I had to buy all new pants again. So I bought all these new skinny jeans that I love. And then after having Bradley now, I'm holding on to a little bit more weight around my middle than I've ever really had before. I don't know if it's just because I'm still nursing. Sometimes you hold on to some extra weight around your middle when you're nursing. So maybe when I wean them, it'll go away. But I keep trying to cram myself into these jeans, and they're so uncomfortable. I just need to readjust and go back to my jeans that actually fit me, and it'll not make me feel bad about myself every time I go to put on my jeans, right? It's not a big deal. I'll lose the weight eventually if I really want to. If not, then it's fine. I just have to buy pants that fit. So that's one way to readjust, is just if you don't feel good in the clothes that you have, just buy new clothes. And that's also a really great self-care way to take care of yourself too, is if you're not happy every morning when you get dressed, then maybe you need some new stuff. Another example, which I think I've talked about before, is taking care of the house. So I used to there used to be Sunday mornings, we'd spend a couple hours cleaning the house, and then during football season, it'd be in the morning, and the deadline was 1 o'clock now that we're on the East Coast. When we were in New Orleans, it was noon when football games started. So it was we had to do all of our errands, clean the whole entire house, and then we can just relax and drink beer and watch football for the rest of the day on Sunday. Well, that is totally not the way that we can do it now that we have kids. There's no way we can just set aside a couple hours once a week to clean the whole house and then spend the rest of the day relaxing and drinking beer and watching football. So instead of like fighting it, which I did for so long, I just need to be like, yo, my life's different now. I need to like find a way to make it work. So that's what I did, and I've talked about that a little as far as like taking care of the house in one of my past episodes. If you want to check that out. My last tip for this whole readjust thing. This kind of can apply to like your body or your life. But if you have like a certain workout routine that you loved, or that you maybe didn't love, but you like stuck to it because it made you feel good or something before you had kids. So say like you were a big runner before you had kids, and it felt great, and you feel like it was, made you look good, or, what it was doing something for you, right? And then you have kids, and now like running's not doing it for you either. It just stresses you out because you can't find the time to do it, or you feel like it's not helping you stay in shape because running is not necessarily like the best exercise for everybody. Sometimes like more low impact stuff like walking, which is what I do, can make a lot more of a difference on weight loss than running can. So like for whatever reason, if the workout routine you're doing before you have kids isn't working, physically or emotionally or whatever after you have kids, like notice that. Like, don't just keep trying to push because it used to work for you. Reevaluate, readjust, and find something that does work, right? Makes sense. And then the last one, so you've got reevaluate, readjust, and then remember, meaning like don't forget about who you were before you had kids. So like, yes, you're a different person now, you have a different life. Maybe you have a different body, but you don't necessarily need to be unhappy with your body. But remember the things you used to love to do before you had kids. Remember the things that used to light you up before you had kids. Remember the things that your husband or your friends or family did for you that made you feel loved before you had kids. Maybe some of those things like don't really mean so much to you. Maybe they don't really do it for you anymore, or maybe they do. But either way, like, just don't forget about who you were before you had kids. It's easy to kind of feel like you've lost yourself after having kids because you are this new person. But you don't want to forget about the things that make you happy. And it's okay if the things that used to make you happy don't make you happy anymore. Like I used to like watching TV. Well, I don't know. So I used to love watching Real Housewives. I won't even say it's a guilty pleasure. Real Housewives is like my favorite show. And then we don't have cable anymore, so that's kind of why I stopped watching it. But where was I going with this? Yeah, so I used to have shows that like I love to watch, and now TV just doesn't do it for me anymore. Like I still watch some shows every once in a while, or a movie every once in a while with Brian, but it's just not really my thing. But reading, I absolutely love, and I always read, like even through college, before I had kids. Now, like I always read 20 minutes or so before I go to bed. So that's something that's really stuck with me. So just remember things that you used to do, that you used to love to do, that would make you feel good by yourself before you had kids. It's okay if you don't like them anymore, but if you do, then don't forget about them. So I hope that all makes sense. So again, accepting life, body, whatever, after having kids, 3 steps. Reevaluate, readjust, and remember. And yeah, I think that's all I have to talk about with you guys today. If you are interested, if you haven't yet, then click the link to download my Calm Mom Guide. It talks a little bit about acceptance, like what we were talking about today, but it also gives you some other tips on how to be a calm mom. So I will hopefully see you guys back here on Friday morning. I think I'm going to be talking about going on how to just like start on an elimination diet when you're breastfeeding. And I just remembered apparently Genevieve is yelling for me, so I'm going to go run up and hopefully she's not mad at me for taking too long. But have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you back here Friday. Bye.